a lot of women say they want a traditional man, but they will reject those traditional values. Why do you think that is?
Women are confused. I don't know. It's like I try to muddle through all the female problems. I think that there's something innate in women. Obviously, it's biological to want a guy to care for you and be able to protect, provide. I don't even mean like financially provide, but just like that emotional security. And so I think women seek that out, whether they really know it or not. But then I think that they aren't totally prepared for what comes with getting a more traditional guy. Like, especially when you find like a really traditional guy who's like, no, I like would love for you to stay home with the kids. And like, I don't really want you to be posting your ass on social media or whatever it is. Like, there are just kind of standards, I think, that come with that. Like, if you're going to date like a player guy who isn't really thinking about marriage, who doesn't really care if you stay home with the kids or whatever it is, it's probably fine if you guys are both out doing your thing and posting whatever you want to post and talking with whoever. But when you get into those situations where you have like a man with standards or a woman with standards, I think you either have to rise and meet those standards and work together, or it's just never going to work. So I think that might be part of it. But I also think women are, again, there's this innate desire. And then there is what women are taught socially and what women talk about in their like circles of like, I want to be this boss babe and I don't need no man. Oh yeah, men are scum. I mean, if you heard what women like talk about just in their little groups, it's crazy. And so I think that they want one thing and then they're presented and encouraged in another way. And so I think it makes it very confusing. And not to like completely like take the blame off of them, but I think it's a difficult thing to muddle through, especially in this society right now, and with men and women being so split ideologically. Where there was a really interesting CNN interview that was going viral on X yesterday, where this woman was doing a piece and she only dated like alt-right men for a year, and then she did an interview about it, about everything that she learned.
Whoa.
Yes.
Wait, so did she set out
Yes.
to only date alt-right?
Yes. So as a result...
So she, like, kind of, in a sense, deceived all of these guys.
Yes.
How long did she date him for? Like a month
It was
each?
like a couple of months, like a month here. She would go on a couple dates here. Like, there was no, like, serious relationship.
Okay,
but it was
so it's
also,
just like going out. Okay.
Yeah, she's just going out. She's dating
And
these
how does she
guys.
determine if they're alt-right?
Like, based on their social media profiles and asking them, like, she would ask about their politics and that kind of stuff. But you could tell she, like, intentionally sought out, like, not just your average, like, right-leaning guy on social, whatever it is, but, like...
Extreme right.
Oh,
That's
right, whatever.
interesting. Are we talking like the Andrew Tate?
Yeah, like that kind of
right?
thing.
Or like
Yeah, or...
like,
Yeah, or like Nick Fuentes fans, like that kind of stuff. Like she like really, and then the entire interview was like, oh, they're so awful. They took me to political meetings. It was all about, anyway, it was like she had like sort of found herself in this like weird niche political faction that is like not reality at all. That is not just like most normal guys. Like most of the, Alex has a pretty like diverse group of friends, but of all of the like conservative, more right-leaning guys that we're friends with that he knows from college, they're so normal. Like they're not walking around with like huge Trump hats on or going to like political, like they're lovely, wonderful, normal guys. And she did not find any of those. I don't think she was seeking them out. But the way she spoke about them, even like removing her like feelings about the alt-right, whatever, but she was just so disgusted by every part of them. And I think that that's really encouraged in women right now. And they're so disgusted by like the male species, like moving more right. And so I think that divide isn't helping at all, where now women are like turning their nose up at more traditional guys, even though they know that they like want that kind of like protection and security. So really it's just basically just chaos. And I think that's a huge reason for why the dating landscape is such a mess.
You know what's interesting? I saw on Twitter, this triggered a lot of people.
Okay.
There was marriage advice. And it was some lady who was giving advice and just said to all the women out there who are in unhappy marriages, all you need to do is when your husband gets home, get home early, cook him a steak. And that's it.
Yeah.
That's all it'll take. And your marriage is going to change around.
Yeah.
And it's interesting to see the comments. All the guys are like, oh my gosh, this would be it. When I get home, I just want to relax for an hour. And then I have all this to-do list and these things. And if I just got that, all the women were saying, absolutely not. I would do that. My husband wouldn't appreciate it. Or he would just find something to talk about. It's what are your thoughts on something like that?
It feels very normal to me. That's because that's kind of like what happens in our house. Anyway, like one of my favorite things if Alex is out at the gym or at a meeting, like I love like being there when he gets home. Now, there are a lot of people who like those types of videos where they'll be like, oh yeah, put on a big like face of makeup, get dressed up. And I'll be in like my pajamas, but I'm waiting on the porch being like, hug me. Like I'm so excited to see, but I'm like genuinely so excited to see him every day when he gets home from whatever he's doing. And I will happily cook him a steak whenever he wants. I'm terrible at cooking steak. He's far superior, so he usually does it. But I will cook him a meal, whatever he wants, because it's less of a, I'm revering you as a man and like whatever it is, and more so you are a person that I love and I'm going to care for you and hopefully make your day better. But he also does the same for me. So it's not like a one-sided thing. And I think a lot of the women who get so angry about that see it as like, well, this just means that I'm serving him and I'm getting nothing back. But I think that there is something to be said of like, what are the small things that you can do in your relationship to just make their lives better, to just offer them some sort of comfort? And it kind of, if you're in a situation, and this is just my opinion, but if you're in a situation where things aren't great and you're just constantly at odds, it's like, well, can you be the one to just like take the step to start? And it might be uncomfortable because you feel like, oh, maybe it wouldn't be appreciated, but maybe that's all you needed to do is just like kind of show up and show the guy that you love him and you care about him. And hopefully that, starts to change things. And if he really just doesn't appreciate anything that you're doing and you're doing all of the right things and you're trying to be supportive, then that's indicative of a much bigger problem. But if you're just dealing with like nagging communication issues or you just feel like you're, not on the same path and you're not as connected, it's like, what can you do to just like try to make your home life a little happier and more comfortable? And that should be something that both individuals are trying to do.
What's your advice to guys out there to improve themselves? Like, what's the steak example, but from the guy's perspective?
Women really love when you pay attention to the little things, which is not the Jack is like, oh God.
That's like the hardest thing to do.
Yes. Oh, I know.
Is that why they like it? Is because they know it's like high effort, high intentional? Like,
I don't know if it's like, I don't think about it in that regard of like high effort, but it's always like when Alex will, okay, so last night I was feeling awful. And I had an awful headache and we were driving yesterday and there was like a big pile up on the road and he like slammed on the brakes and I like went like this. My neck felt, I just like had an off day. And my dog who is a terror, like somehow got on the stove and like turned on the gas. So then our house, like the entire kitchen, it was just the whole like evening was just like kind of went awry. And I was just not feeling it. And so we had dinner and it was like a series of events of like him being like, oh my God, my wife is just like not having a time. And so we ate dinner and I went and I got in bed. I was like, I'm going to go to bed early. For this podcast in the morning, I want to be prepared for it. I have work to do in the morning. I'm going to just go to bed. And he was in there. I thought he was just like cleaning up the kitchen because we had made dinner and I'm obsessed with chocolate chip cookies. And I was like half asleep and he comes in with like this plate of chocolate chip cookies. And I didn't ask him to do that. And it's not like a super specific little thing because he knows that I like my favorite food in the world is a chocolate chip cookie. But he took 15 minutes to be like, yeah, I can like make a cookie from scratch and bring that. And it was like my night, literally, like it was like life rushed through me. I was like, I can do anything. I'm up. But it was just like, and it wasn't the cookie, but it was, you saw that I was not having a great time, that I didn't feel great, that I had an awful headache, that I just felt really off. And you took 15 minutes out of your day when you could have been, relaxing, reading a book, doing some work, sending some emails, texting your friends, looking at, reels on Instagram to send all of your frat bros, whatever it is. And you took 15 minutes to do something that was really special. And that wasn't like the most complicated thing to figure out, but it was like, and I didn't know that he was doing it. I think that's also something for both men and women is that I think just people in general love when you don't have to like ask somebody to do something, but where it's just kind of unexpected. And so I don't think for women that it has to be this like, you've traveled across the world to like find this like secret thing that they care about, but it's just like, is there something that they talk about that they really love or this restaurant that they really want to go to or, something that they pointed out online. Like Alex will, I'll like send him a reel or show him something on my phone of like, oh, this dress is really pretty. 6 months later for Christmas, he's gotten the dress. He's like, remember, I don't even remember.
Oh gosh, that's impossible.
But he's so intentional. It's like crazy. And so I had to like step up my game. So I have like a running notes app list of like now that I like write things down and remember things because he's so good at that. And it's really, really like, it's so special.
That's unusual. I mean, I
I'm
get
hoping
told
to find a
something,
wife that doesn't
doesn't
value
remember
that
at all.
But
My
or
God,
I'll have to make some
I'm told
drastic
But you
stuff,
don't-
and 10 minutes later, I've forgotten it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have
Which
no clue.
honestly, you would be shocked because he is somebody that's kind of like in one ear, up the other. He's kind of like squirrel, like sparkly thing, whatever. But he somehow just makes an effort in that capacity. But it also doesn't even have to be that. It's like chicks love flowers. Like it's really like people are like, what can I do? It's so simple. And it doesn't have to be some like fancy bouquet. Like they're really like pretty ones at Trader Joe's that are like $3.
You know what's funny? I've gotten Macy fake flowers. She hates them. But to me, it's like, but they last. It's like, wouldn't you rather have a bouquet of flowers that could stay there for years and not die?
No. Never. Because
they're really good at home goods, though. They look identical.
Graham loves fake everything.
You do?
I love
like
it. Yes.
Yeah.
I love walking into a house and just everything's perfect. No flowers are dying. There's nothing that needs to be watered. And just from a distance, it looks the same.
Yeah. But what about the
difference.
experience of like you come home and you've just thought about it. You saw literally it could be the little bouquet that's like this big at Trader Joe's. And you're like, oh, I'm thinking about her.
I like the fake ones. I don't know, because then you could swap them out for seasons. Like we'll have like the spring fake flowers, the summer fake flowers, the fall fake flowers. And it's just the same thing. I don't know.
It's very practical.
I much prefer that. Now, you might have noticed that I'm someone who pays close attention to trends, and lately I've been noticing cowboy boots everywhere. It's pretty clear that a great pair of boots isn't just for the ranch anymore. They pair incredibly well with everything from casual outfits to full-on business attire, and that's why I'm excited to announce today's sponsor, Tecovas.
Have you ever wondered if you could pull off boots? I'll tell you what, I absolutely have. Let's be honest, you owe it to yourself to try out Tecovas. Tecovas makes handcrafted Western boots with over 200 meticulous steps for a perfect fit right out of the box. Whether you're a lifelong cowboy or a first-time boot buyer like myself, you'll feel right at home in them.
A great pair of boots really just pulls everything together. With Tecovas, you don't just look put together, you feel put together. And trust me, people notice. And right now, you can get 10% off when you sign up for email and text when you go to tecovas.com/iced. That's TECOVAS.com/ICED. Tecovas.com/iced.
Plus, Tecovas backs every pair with their Best in the West guarantee with free returns and exchanges for 30 days. Seriously, guys, I genuinely recommend Tecovas, and if you think you can't pull off cowboy boots, see for yourself. You might be surprised. Thank you so much to Tecovas for sponsoring this episode.